Hey, everybody! I'm currently not in space. We got jalapeno milk and making and cheese here. Um, I got in these Charlie in the Wire ash cans today, and they look fantastic. They look really great. So, if you backed audio is crazy, hey, it might be because I got this fan on over here. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. Did that help any at all? Yeah, there's no theme song because I'm on my laptop. Just kind of chilling out here. I look insane. I've been out doing stuff all day. No theme song, no fancy stuff. This is just me. I'm gonna be sitting here hanging up comic books. So, is the audio any better? If I have to, I can go get my video game headset and plug in here. And you just can hear me going while I pack stuff up. What are you doing, Axel? You coming here to help? No, still warbly like that TikTok field. It's probably this crappy old laptop. Give me another minute. Is that any better? Can you guys hear me? Is this working alright? Plug my headset in. I don't know if it's working or not. That's why I hate using this laptop. Because it's garbage. Absolute and utter garbage. The first Dougcast was when I was staying in the other bedroom in here because this house, the floors are all falling in. It had a leak and stuff when it was fixing the floor. And so I was trying to stream off this laptop and it finally just gave up on me. It's awful. Sound like, yeah, it's this laptop for some reason. It's noisier than I don't know what. I don't know how. I just wonder if it would be better if I unplugged my battery. And I only got 9% on it. What? It's StreamYard's using the laptop mic, but I was trying to get it to use my headset mic. I don't think it'll work. This thing's garbage. Well, the only way I know how to stream other than this is with my cell phone, and I just have to use my cell phone, guys. Because this thing's poop. My cell phone's about dead too, though. I don't know why it does this. It makes me mad. Makes me mad. This thing apparently sounds like garbage. Axel's in here chewing on stuff here. Yeah, I took that thing off. Is it still off on him? I changed some settings. I don't know if that helped anything. What are you eating? It still sound like poopy. Poopy. It sounds like a poopy. It's so got worse. Oh, Lord. Let me invite myself to the show and just switch to my phone. This thing is being like mega slow. The laptop, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Open the Gmail, you turd. And Axe was in here like before. It's driving me crazy. What are you eating? Huh? Are you just licking everything down there, you weirdo? Being a weirdo. Being a weirdo. Hang on a minute. I'll get on my phone. Here's my link. Turn the audio off. Turn the video off. Turn the audio off here. There, can you hear me? My mouth probably don't move with the thing. Oh, I can hear it. Why is that so bad? It sounds better now. I kicked myself out of the stream. I just turned the sound down on my laptop. There we go. That's better for everybody. So, yeah, got the ash cans in today. They look amazing. Printed on a really nice paper. This ash can is better than a lot of people's actual books. So, I'm gonna start packing up stuff. You guys got to hear all this racket and noise. I don't want to pull these so hard that it explodes and goes everywhere. I put tape on it, you jerk. It's cheating. We got, let's see who all we got in the chat here. We got Ezra's in the chat. Making the Cheese is in the chat. Gotham Knight is in the chat. There's Ash and Jackal, Freddie Primo. I don't think I missed anybody. Eric Hawkins is here. Stupid Newfie is here. Of course, Jalapeno Milk is here. If I missed you, just pop in. I'm sorry. But yeah, I got a bunch of books to pack up. I want to start first with yeah, I did a little short stream earlier. I didn't think I was going to do, another stream. But we ended up getting the books in, and I thought, well, while I'm packing these books up, I'll just stream a little bit and talk and show everybody these books. We got Zippy in the chat. What's up, Zippy? He says, Earth, Doug. That's right. I'm in Earth today. We got the comic book hut in the chat. What's up, Hut? Oh, you guys get to watch me be a nerd and pack all this stuff up. See my fly swatter back here? I'm hitchings with it if you don't straighten up. I had to clean off a spot on my table. I've been working on this stinking house the whole time I've been living in it. We had to replace a big section of the floor right here that I'm sitting on. Shiny toward the comic. I can't tell which side's shiny. Probably the side that feels nice. Yeah, no corona in these comic books. Corona is bad. Yeah, corona. Yeah. One of you guys ought to come over here and help me do this. Ain't a whole lot of fun. I'm gonna get Skinny to pop in here with me today, but he had to go to work. Any of you guys at home and want to jump on and, well, me using this computer, I don't know how good we can chat, but if you want to jump on, we can try chatting. If anybody wants to jump in, let me know and I'll drop the link. I ain't a Kieran. Actually, I'll drop the link right here in the chat. Boop. If any feel like jumping on, there's the link. You just jump on in and we'll talk, and you guys can tell me how terrible I am and bagging and boarding. See, Zippy, you're popular around these parts, bud. Zippy, when we got HG just joined us, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you here. Just hanging out and boxing up some comic books for the kids and the jellos and the pudding pops. Rudy and Theo. You see, Rudy, you need to get your comic books and put them in the bags with the boards so they don't get bent up. You see, kids. Which, that's not a very good Cosby technically. That's just an exaggerated. But usually the best impersonations are exaggerated ones. So I gotta go through and make sure that this is not too bad. HG, I've got to pack like probably 130, 120 to 130 packages. Some people just got the book. Some people just got some people got like extra books and stickers, and then I had some people do the secret mailing list thing. So trying to go through and get just the book, just the people who ordered the book first, and then start adding extras to it. Because everybody that ordered the book also gets the ash can. So that's pretty dang cool. See what stinks, as soon as I get done with these, I'm waiting to kind of see how things are going. I've got a couple people needing to turn in some changes, but I'll be putting in the order for Legends of the Lone Wolf, and then I'll be shipping all those out, hopefully by the end of the month. Dude, knocking on my back door. I actually might have to order some more bags and boards. I thought I had another package. Apparently, I just ordered one, which was really dumb. Or maybe I ordered two and they didn't send me one. I don't know. Need to go back and look. I got so much different stuff I'm taking stock of. thinking about just starting my own fulfillment company. Just doing this all the time. My mom said she's going to retire next year, and I said, well, you can just come and work for me, and we can just do book fulfillment. I don't know how that'd work out. I don't think I'd actually make any money on it. But oh well, you know. You know. We got 10 viewers here. I hope y'all's having a good day. It's fairly nice out here. Me and Axel been outside most of the day. Oh, I got some people popped in here. We got Tim. And we got Mickey McCheese. What's up, guys?
Are we live?
Yeah.
What's going on, Doug?
Not much. Just packing up a bunch of baloney.
You're a one-man band, aren't you? Like you said, you're like your own fulfillment company.
Yeah. That's how I roll. I tried to add Mickey McCheese, and apparently I failed.
Yeah, I think he's... no, he's there. Yeah, there he is.
I got sent to the void.
I'm sent to the Phantom Zone.
This laptop, and it's complete garbage. And apparently you have to like punch the buttons as hard as you can to get them to do anything. So how are things out in y'all's neck of the woods?
I can't complain. I'm in Texas right now, and I was having this conversation the other day with my dad, who's in Arkansas. But I think that maybe it's just a byproduct of living in the South. But I know that the government quarantine only goes until the end of April. But I wouldn't be surprised if people start going back to work in 2 weeks, because I think people are just going stir crazy. They're like, we're losing money every day that we can't work. And you mean to tell us that we can't make a living? Like, we don't want a handout. We want to work. So I think that's it. But most of the people are like taking it pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, here it seems. I mean, you know, buddy, we still got some teepee hoarders, but other than that, things are going pretty good around here.
Yeah, and toilet paper was hard to find, obviously, for like the first, I'd say 2 weeks of the hysteria. But now apparently it's pretty easy to find. I mean, I wasn't kidding when I said in your chat that we bought a bidet, and it was like the best investment ever.
I heard that was only for the lady bits.
It's not. There's 2 settings. Actually, there's like 5 or 6. It's crazy.
I lived in Korea for a couple years, and the apartment I rented over there had one. And let me tell you, that was a game changer.
Did you get one?
I had one over there, and my roommate threw up some small protest, said, oh, it's bad enough you got a squatty potty. I don't want you putting a bidet in there. And meanwhile, you know, he hasn't had toilet paper in 3 weeks. And I've been hiding my stash.
Good for you. That's how you do it. No, we saw, like, you know, my wife, when she heard that toilet paper might be hoarded like in the first 24 hours, she bought a bidet on Amazon for $40.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Yeah, now that same bidet goes for like 90, because I think some people are getting the same idea. But I mean, we have saved a ton on toilet paper for sure. But I used a bidet when I was in Europe. I lived in France and Austria off and on for about 2 years, and every place I stayed at had a bidet, and I loved it. It's actually a miracle I didn't just commit to it sooner.
This is the bidet.
This is the bidet.
This is the bidet.
This is the bidet. That's right.
This is the way.
The way.
I found some interesting news this morning.
Oh, cool. Like what?
Oh, Jordan Peterson's looking for a black and white illustrator for his next book.
Oh my gosh, this is not going to be popular. I do not like Jordan Peterson at all.
Well, you know whose gig that was formerly.
Yeah.
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 Well, he probably wants the book done before the world ends. So.
Seize the bidet.
Seize the bidet. That's right.
Where's Zippy?
Yep.
Zippy!
That was a great show. I was laughing my butt off the whole time.
I laughed the whole time, and that dude is something else. I tell you.
I was trying to get. I told Nurkish because Nurkish doesn't like the puppet shows, but I was like, you need to listen to Zippy. So he listened to Zippy, and I was like, I really want you guys to be together on a show. And I said, I think what makes Zippy so funny is that he's not pretending to be a unicorn. I think that's just how that guy naturally talks.
I think you're right, Tim.
Yeah, he's not pretending anything. I bet that's just him. I bet.
He just threw that thing on his hand and went to town. I wonder if we'll ever find out who he is.
I don't want to know who he is. I mean, I like that anonymity. I mean, there has to be some. It's like I listened to that talk you guys do on the Needle Mover Society. I kind of believe, and something occurred to me because I watched that and I watched the tinfoil talks too, and I love that
topic or subject.
Yeah, so Mark Pellegrini and I, like, that's kind of our hobby. We have like volumes of paranormal books and stuff, you know, whether it be UFOs or ghosts or aliens or whatever. So we're really big into that stuff. I like listening to it. And it dawned on me, like, when people ask, oh, well, do you believe any of it? My answer is always the same. I don't really think it's a matter of belief. I just think that it's exciting because it's that last shred of mystery still left on our planet that you kind of just don't want to know. It doesn't even matter if it's true or not. Like, you know, Doug Garrett could be like, I think my house is haunted. And there's not that part of me that has the skepticism that's like, well, I'm going to disprove it. I'm going to go to your place and we're going to disprove that your house is haunted. I just believe him I believe that he's telling the truth to the best of his ability, not necessarily that it's actually haunted. And I think that degree of mystery to some people, I mean, I think that's good. It keeps, I don't know, there's something exciting about it. So there's a lot of people I know who are friends and they're anonymous. And they're like, do you want me to tell you what my real name is? And I just tell them, do not tell me what your real name is for a couple reasons. One, if you ever get doxxed one day, I don't want me to ever be blamed for it because it's not my fault. And two, if I like you as a person so far, then your name doesn't matter. Like, it's who you are and what you've done. So
it doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Someday I'll tell you guys my real name.
What?
That's a joke.
I didn't know we had any viewers, Tim. That's exciting to hear, man. I appreciate it. We're gonna do another episode tonight.
Yeah, I listen in.
We're gonna do time traveling birthday thieves tonight.
I'm gonna try to be on since I'm not working.
What's
Skinny
that?
always sends me the invite, but I'm like going to work. So I told him since I wasn't working, I'll try to be on with you guys.
You gonna pop on tonight?
Yeah.
Nice. We need to commission you for the X-Files theme in a major key.
I love that theme.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. I think we had some thing about they told me to fight a baby and explain that it was me from the future or past or something, and if I didn't win, they would take my birthday away or something like that.
That's the theme?
That's one of them. We had a little straw poll on it last week. I can't remember.
I was there, and I forgot that was like a thing that happened.
Yeah, we kind of went off the rails towards the end. But yeah, the whole thing we're trying to do is just make it like that campfire feeling when you could just talk with a couple of buddies about, you know, maybe I'm a little crazy for sounding like this and talking about this stuff, but I don't know, maybe there's something to it. I kind of believe this stuff.
It's kind of like conspiracy theories. So that's one area of the weird that I never got into. But I mean, I think it was post-election. I've told this story before that I never believed in the kind of like Illuminati type New World Order stuff. And then this was like my I kind of believe type thing. So I always believed that the media would never lie to you. I felt like there was a way that they could misreport, but it was never intentional. But it was actually during the 2016 election. We were at a Trump rally, and this lady was interviewing people in the line, and she skipped my dad and I. And we just thought that was really weird because she just literally like saw us and then like missed us and then interviewed the guy next to us. And then later at night, she was doing this news report and she's like, yeah, it was only white people at this thing. There were no minorities. And I was just like, that is a flat out lie. Like, we caught you in a lie. And
that was
ever
a
since,
Trump rally?
yeah, and that was like one of his very, very first ones. And that was the moment that my dad and I were like, oh my gosh, all the people who were saying like the media cannot be trusted, they were like 100% correct. And this is only on the local level. Just imagine how it is, you know,
Oh yeah.
on the federal level or nationwide. And ever since then, I think it's woken up a lot of people. So they look at the news with a degree of skepticism. And ever since then, I've been more receptive to, you know, kind of weird theories. I don't believe all of them, obviously, but I mean, I think that they're engaging. I think you should have an answer for why you believe something, not just because you were taught in school that that's why it was.
Oh well, that's what we're trying to say is like, even if you believe it a little bit, let's explore what could be right about that. Let's talk about it instead of the average person you run into be like, oh, you're crazy. That's not true. You're just a Trump supporter or whatever. Like, no, there's literally stuff going on like that. You look at one of the things that opened my eyes was you look at those compilations of newscasters using the same headline.
Yeah, the same bit.
Yeah, like, Trump went off the rails tonight and, Poughkeepsie, Illinois or whatever. And then like 8 different stations say the exact same line.
Yeah.
I mean, you can follow the money and whatever, but there's definitely like a higher tier influence. And then you look at the emails that came out during, Hillary's defeat back in 2016 that came out on, can't remember what website that was, but there's definitely coordination.
And sometimes that kind of programming is hard to escape
Programming
from.
is a good word for it, yeah.
Well, like for example, so one thing that everyone learned after the 2016 election is your poll numbers suck. As in, your polling data is not a good predictor of what's going to happen. And one could argue that poll data is actually used to manipulate public opinion. Because if it's like, hey, person X is going to win, person Y is not, you might as well just stay home if you're voting for person Y. Like, that's really the only thing it shapes to do, because a poll is only accurate basically after the fact, after it's already happened. And so what kills me is that you have people nowadays who are like, well, the polls show that he's going to lose in November, right? I'm like, you're using the same polls that they used in the 2016 election. Like, how have you not learned not to even trust them anymore?
Which were dead wrong, by the way.
I was gonna say, I don't even believe they actually poll people. I believe they make something up and they try to get everybody to vote the way they want them to.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that as well. Because in academia, for example, you have a lot of instances of fraud where you have people who have grants and stuff, and they'll just falsify data because they need a grant or something. Yeah. It's not, I mean, you can't rule out malfeasance. You always have to kind of assume with skepticism. And that's why repeatability is essential for a lot of things, which is why maybe some of the more accurate polls will run the same poll consecutively over weeks or days or something. But one thing I do is for polling data that looks really weird, I will go into the white papers. So I'll actually look at the data itself, which typically, it doesn't even matter if it's fake news like MSNBC or the New York Times. They'll have a link to the actual papers, the PDF where they conducted it. And it's like hysterical because it will say something to the effect of, we polled 1,000 people, all from major metropolitan areas. The sample sizes we took came from California, like San Francisco, New York, LA, and Chicago. We call that random. And it's like, how your data is going to look like if you call random in metropolitan areas, right? And it's like, sure enough, our sample size skewed 65% liberal, 20% Republican, and then X% undecided. So if you look at that data on the front end, you're like, oh wow, this looks really bad. But then you actually dissect it, and you're like, your data's skewed because of your sample size. Come on.
Yeah. Well, most people won't even open up that white paper link either.
No, most people don't. I mean, that's the thing where the media is so deceitful, is that they know that a lot of people don't know how to read statistics, and they don't know how that is taken. I mean, their experience with polls is like, oh yeah, I took a poll one time. I was in the mall. and someone flagged me down, and they gave me a $10 gift certificate to Starbucks or whatever, or Jamba Juice. And that's it. Like, that's how they think a poll is conducted. And it's like, well, if you look, almost 99% of these are all done through telephone calls and only to landline phones, and typically in major metropolitan areas.
Well, yeah, and like it was grossly oversampled when they were polling for Hillary too. It wasn't really like a poll from what I saw. It was like a bludgeon.
Yep.
You will vote for Hillary based on this data. That's basically what I got out of it.
And some of them, if you look at the questions asked, especially in that 2016 election, they would say something to the effect of, do you like Donald Trump? And people would say no. Well, they would extrapolate that data as being, these are the people who are going to vote for Hillary. And it's like, that's not how that works. I know several people who don't like Donald Trump as a person, but they voted for him regardless. I mean, Doug TenNapel is being like one example. He stated openly that he doesn't necessarily like him or care for him as a person, or at least did not used to. And that did not sway how he was going to vote, because he was looking at kind of the lesser of two evils in his eyes. So it's just, you look at it and you just shake your head and you're thinking, you guys are so corrupt. Like, you know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, that reminds me. I think one of the topics we were going to talk about tonight too with the birthday thieves was Walt Disney subliminal messaging.
Oh, like the corporation?
Yeah, well, like the Little Mermaid has like a like something on the cover. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, the phallic object.
Yeah, like in the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
The most egregious one, like the one that's definitely the easiest to prove, is in The Rescuers. It's the naked lady in the window.
Yeah, wasn't it like a Playboy centerfold?
I don't know. I just remember, like, I forgot where it was. We were watching it. It was like the original footage, not a remastered version. But we were like, here we go. Let's slow it down frame by frame. And sure enough, it's in the descent scene where they're flying downwards through the city. It's like, there's the frame. You can see it plain as day.
Yeah, and then like the Little Mermaid also had, like, when they were getting married, the bad guy and the
priest.
The priest has a little priapism, I think you call it.
That one's kind of weird, because have you heard the official explanation?
No.
So the official explanation is that it's his knee. Like, his knee is popping up. I have gone through that, like, frame by frame, and I'm like, no.
It was his knee. Hey,
Was
look,
it his
guys,
knee?
I put the first one in the thing.
Cool.
Ooh.
Now, hey, do you tape those too, or do you just put them in the box?
No, I hate tape. What I do is I always fold them down, which I don't know if I can
That's
fold
smart.
these. Where this one, we used 100-pound covers.
Yeah.
And it's
100-pound. Jeez, those are rigid.
Yeah, man, these are hardcore. And I think it's 100-pound covers and 80-pound
Interiors?
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm going to tell people in the chat. So Doug Garrett knows what he's doing. Like, it's like beating a drum or beating a dead horse. I'm just going to say it time and time again. Like, I know so many indie guys like Doug who are getting it right, like on the first try and the second try and the third try. And it's like, we're not even in the industry. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Like, how is that 80-pound paper when you're doing like not necessarily a premium edition book, but a book that has no fluting? That's what you get, 80-pound paper. That's how you make sure you don't get it. Doug knows what he's doing.
If somebody tells you that lighter pound paper is better, it's because they're lying to you.
It doesn't. No, it makes no sense. So I've talked to Mixam about that, and I talked to our printer about that, and they just laughed. They're like, "What? How is the lighter pound paper cheaper? That doesn't make any, or not cheaper, but more expensive."
I mean, like, you can look through here. There's no fluting in this book. The colors don't run. None of that stuff. I mean, this turned out really great. It actually looks way better here in print than it did, than the PDFs do.
I mean, I'm looking at a webcam, and the colors are so saturated. That's how you want them to be.
Yeah, man, it looks really good. I'm thrilled. This is not even my comic book, It's Six's book, but I'm just so thrilled just to be a part of it and it to turn out this good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great for Six too. To make sure that his first book, made its goal and stuff. The most important thing for independent creators, especially if it's like your first go around, is you want to have sense of your margins. Like keep the overhead rather low, and whatever you make out of that is great. That's just gravy. And because he was basically like a one-man band, I know he had like Tony Sizzle, obviously helping out, and then you helping with fulfillment, but keeping the costs down, doing the work mostly by yourself, you're gonna make out like a bandit, and that's good, for a first timer. We actually modeled a lot of our campaigning on Nasser Rabadi because he kind of did that too. People were looking at his first campaign and they were like, oh, well, he didn't make this number. And I thought, yeah, but I know how much he spent on that campaign. And he probably made out with as much money as someone who made six figures, but everything is inflated because of all the goodies and tchotchkes that you add on and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that, and if he did mess it up, he's not, left with $38,000 hanging over his head. He can never pay back either.
Right, precisely.
It doesn't matter. You just say you're sorry, and they'll start you a whole new campaign.
I had to think about that one. I was like, are you being sarcastic? That was a joke. Why not? Why not? Mecca McCheese. So every time I see you on camera, I always think that you're cosplaying. What's his face? Not Shira, but the other guy. Oh crap, MODOK.
Or maybe Brodock.
Brodock, because he has that like jeweled tiara type thing on his head.
Yeah, I think he does actually. I don't know. I found this at Target in the clearance section, and I was like, I don't want anyone to take me seriously, so I'll wear this. And I saw the She-Ra thing, and I'm like, well, if the people that are animating her want her to be a man, I'll show them, what a real man could look like wearing this.
You should be wearing the outfit too.
I got it in the trunk over there. But
oh my gosh.
Six pops in the chat and says, show off the ash can. I've been showing it off, Six. I'm packing books. If you'd show up on time, you'd see this stuff.
Hey, Doug, who did you use as a printer? I don't know if you revealed that or not.
This is all Mix'em right here.
Okay, cool.
For the volume of books that we got,
same price.
The other printers was about the same.
Yeah, I forgot that one thing that the other printer does is you definitely have to print in bulk to get the discount. If you're doing low run, it's really tough. And I realized that with Black Ops 2, we kind of ran into that problem. So we actually over-ordered just so we could reduce our cost.
Yeah, we try not to order too many more because it would have broke us.
Is the follow-up going to be on the monkey?
The monkey?
There's like a purple monkey in that book, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Or the gorilla.
The monkey?
I don't know what he's got in store for the second book. There is a 4-page story about the gorilla in here, though.
Ooh.
And everybody that got a physical copy of the book is getting this for free.
Nice.
Man, for your books, when you send digital, do you actually just send a raw file, like the raw PDF?
Well, it's converted to a different size, so if you tried to print it, it'd be all jacked up.
I was wondering what the size is, so I actually spent all morning doing that for Common America, and I sent, I don't know, God knows how many samples to people. I was like, check this out, and they would get back to me, and they'd be like, it's too small to read, or hey, when I enlarge it, it's too blurry. So I was trying to find the right mix between screen size and resolution to get it to the right size format, and I think I have it, but I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna have to send this last sample over to Mark and see what he thinks.
See, like when I make the PDF, I just take the files and and print them to a PDF. So they're not the same size as they would be when I send the files to the printer.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody tries to print it out, it's gonna be all jacked up.
The other thing you could do is, I know that Photoshop has this capability, but when you're about to save the PDF, there's an option where you can actually encrypt the PDF where you can't even print it unless you actually know a password. So I just found that out this morning, and I was like, oh, sweet. So that's what I did.
We were just thinking about doing this thing where it puts your email on it. So, like, if you tried to share it, it would dox you.
Like in like a watermark, and so you put it up on like one of those free to read sites, and it's like, oh, geez.
Where's
I
my
just
chicken
couldn't
book?
But be snarky. That's just me.
That's that Walmart book coming out, right?
Yeah.
Is it coming out?
I don't know. I got that other one, the other Red Rooster book. Well, I didn't get the physical. I got the digital, and I read it.
It was goofy.
Yeah, like I told him on Twitter. I left him a comment. I said, this reminds me of like the Saturday morning superhero cartoons that was out when I was a kid.
I didn't realize that the guy who's the Red Rooster, he's like a doofus. He's basically like an Asian Guy Fieri wearing a chicken costume. And I was reading it. Spoiler. I'm going to spoil the ending of the Red Rooster. So at the end, he literally turns into a giant Fing Fam Foom chicken. Yeah. And it just like shocked me because I had no idea that was going to happen. I was like, this guy's an idiot. He's just fat, and he speaks in broken English. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like the chick, the Puma, like she knows what she's doing. And then like at the end, he gets like really mad or like really angry. And when he hulks out, he turns into a giant kaiju chicken. And I was like, holy cow.
Well, if I would have saw that, I would have bought the book.
Yeah, no kidding.
He should have been showing that off. Dude, I mean, seriously, it reminded me of like, it was just over the top, ridiculous Saturday morning, like Hanna-Barbera style. Just
Meanwhile,
goofy.
at the Hall of Justice.
It was, I mean, it was almost that kind of level stuff. And I thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for the price you pay for it, I think it was what, $10, I think?
Yeah, and I just backed it just to be snarky,
just to be spiteful Doug.
That's right.
Well, speaking of Saturday morning cartoons, have you guys seen Dragon Guard?
I've seen it, but I haven't really looked at it.
Oh
I'm
man,
trying to back anything because I'm not working right now.
Yeah, I was the same way, but I'm a mod over on Kevin's channel, so disclosure. But I really like the project, man. He's like the one dude in this whole indie scene that's drawing like muscular 70s Schwarzenegger style bodies on people. It's just really manly, macho looking He-Man style.
What's it called?
Dragon Guard.
A show?
No, it's Indiegogo by Kevin Sharp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It looks like it's really influenced by like Thundercats and He-Man and stuff.
Yeah. He's up almost 10 grand and 55 days left. Looking pretty good. I'm really hoping this one succeeds. I got a Broly commission from Kevin Sharp a couple weeks ago.
I've never heard of him.
He's great, man. He's always on D&Q with Mike Miller and those guys.
I think he actually used to draw for Masters of the Universe, didn't he?
I think there was.
He worked for Dynamite and IDW at one point, didn't he?
I think so. I remember he's on that Heroes project that's on Disney Plus. He's got some artwork on there, and I think he was a fill-in guy and stuff like that. He's got a really good style. Really, probably the most masculine dude in indie comics for drawings, at least. And I'm all about the muscles and stuff. So
I was about to say, I was like, you mean muscles in terms of him, or do you mean like his art?
No, just the drawing. Yeah, I think he's probably in his sunset years for working out.
I was about to say, so have you guys seen Paulo Pantalena, like how he looks like in real life?
No.
So he's one of those artists who draws really pretty women. That's what he's known for. He worked for Aspen, but he's working on Red Hood and the Outlaws right now. But that guy is jacked. Like, holy cow, is that guy ripped?
Oh yeah.
So I was about to say, most masculine guy in comics is probably that dude.
Well, there's that what's his name? Rob Willis. He's pretty jacked too. That dude.
The Shinobi Sasquatch artist.
Oh yeah, that dude can draw too, man. It's like Frank Frazetta is what I heard about when I never heard of Frank Frazetta until somebody mentioned it talking about Rob Willis. So I was like, wow.
To me, I don't really see that in his artwork, but if the dude would have been around 20 years ago, he definitely would have been one of the big dogs at Image. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Great art too.
I mean, his art looks like stuff straight out of. It looks like stuff that like Liefeld would try to do. And I love Liefeld, but he's not technically the best.
I read an article, top 40 worst things Liefeld has ever drawn, and I've been having a hard time like being a fan of his work after it. And I'm not a great art. I took one art class in community college, and I don't really understand art as well as some other people do. But that was a hard article to get through, seeing all the stuff he was doing, and not just the chest cap either, just some other stuff.
The feet.
Yeah, the feet, and then there was one where like the waist and the back were like almost like a 45-degree angle or something. It was just like, oh wow, yeah, I could see that.
What it really boils down to though is if you can read a book and you don't notice those flaws, then I think you're okay. There's some YouTube critics I watch, and they're like hyper critical to the point where they're like, what is up with this guy in the background? Like, why does he look like 5 toothpicks? And I'm like, because he's probably like 2 centimeters tall. Like, it's a background thing. They used to do that in the 80s too. It's no big deal. They do it in anime also. Yeah,
if it's not the main character, you can get away with some BS once in a while, right?
I mean, I do it freaking all the time. I take shortcuts because if my focus is on the foreground, I mean, I need to work fast. So I always hope and pray that one of those hypercritical critics doesn't get, too peculiar or too inquisitive about my work, because I'm going to be under the same looking glass.
Take one of those background screens and zoom in as far as they can on it.
Right.
Look how terrible this is.
I'm getting some friction in the chat real quick. I love Frank Frazetta's art. Just wanted to clear that up real quick.
Yeah, we was kind of mocking Liefeld, not Frazetta.
Yeah, Liefeld. Yeah, Frazetta. Yeah, Frazetta's good.
And there's another one where when I point it out, you can't like unnotice it. I know a lot of people like J. Scott Campbell. He's actually he's really cool. I've met him in person. But if you'll notice, he will always draw his women on like ballerina tiptoes.
Yeah.
Even when they're not wearing heels, and even when it doesn't call for it. So for example, if you look at that recent variant he did for Black Widow,
yep,
she's tiptoeing for no reason whatsoever.
Well, doesn't the Mary Jane on that Amazing Spider-Man, what was it, 628 or something? Like, she has her toes pointed on the couch while she's laying on it.
That's a little bit more understandable because is you're at least anatomically you're at least having the character stretch out, but to basically be in a fighting pose on tiptoe when you're not wearing heels, it's not usual, but it's aesthetically pleasing, which is why I think he does it. So that's fine.
You get that interior pelvic tilt going on too,
right? Which a lot of people are like, where are her organs? No, you can totally do that. There's several photos of people doing it.
Oh yeah. Well, and all of his women have the same face, which he bases on his wife's too.
And that's fine. Anime does it all the time too.
Oh yeah. Well, from my understanding, it's really hard to make different faces at some point in a comic. That's why Norman Osborn had that weird haircut back in the day.
The one that makes no sense. It looks like his head is a Brillo pad.
Yeah. What is that supposed to be?
Well, if you go back in the day when they used the Brill cream in their hair and would comb waves in it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's supposed to look like, but it just looks weird in a comic book. Because I went to like some old school churches around here when I was a kid with dudes who like they were obviously, teenagers in the 50s, and they're like 80 years old now, and they still got that hairdo with the waves in it.
6 wants to come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 6 was supposed to be on with the comic book cut today, but comic book cut.
Let me see if I can drop the link.
I think I got it.
Personal things.
Nope, don't have it.
I dropped it there, so he can jump on, and whoever else can jump on. People's wondering why.
Tim, you got a Comment America out there?
I do. So copies were sent yesterday evening. The first copies will be arriving tomorrow. I looked at the fulfillment, sent me the tracking information, so I looked, and then the first ones obviously are going to arrive in the Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana area, so like neighboring states. But last I checked, which was 2 hours ago, they're all at the USPS sorting facility in Fort Worth, Texas right now. So I think starting tomorrow, people will start getting theirs. And I think they're going to start sending them in bulk starting today. So we're assuming that given a 7-day turnaround time with media mail, that everyone should get their copies by Friday of next week. And believe it or not, there are still 29 people who did not fulfill their surveys. And I can already tell you, for people listening to the Dougcast, I can already tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to get those messages, and it's going to be like, where's my copy? And I'm going to say, here are the 5 emails I sent you. Here are the 7 updates. Here's the Instagram post, the Facebook post, and like the 9 billion Twitter posts saying to fill out your survey. You're not getting your book until like weeks later, because fulfillment is going to be wrapped up in a week. You dropped the ball. So that means that I have to take care of those orders individually, which means that I will take care of them, but you're going to have to wait a little bit. But I honestly, like, that's a downside to Kickstarter is I'm pretty sure a lot of them end up in spam folders. But I'm noticing that some of these people have already backed several campaigns. So it's like you should know by now to look at updates to make sure that you're filling those things out, because if not, you're not going to get a book. So if you're out there and you haven't fulfilled your survey, I'm sorry, but everyone's getting their book. You're just going to have to wait a little bit, because I didn't know what to do. I mean, like, I sent update after update after update telling you to fill out that dang survey, and it never came. And I'm still waiting on 29 of them who still haven't done it yet. But hopefully, I think once people start posting their pictures of receiving it, people will be like, hey, where's my book? And it's like, well, you need to go look at your survey.
Tim, I forgot. I backed you, but I did it. I put it up.
I don't look at the backer listing, so I have no idea who did what. I don't even know who backed our book. But Jimmy, shame on you.
I know. I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy.
Terrible.
People's wanting to know when the PDF is going out. Didn't you say it would go out after you sent all the other books out?
After all the books. So if we get everything shipped out by Friday of next week, so it's not like confirmation that they're all delivered. It's the very last book sent out is when we'll send it. And here's the thing about that. I am getting a lot of angry emails from Canada. Only Canada. A lot of Canadians are like, they're literally saying, I feel like I'm a second-class citizen. I feel like I'm being punished. I feel like I'm being treated unfairly. Why are you sending digital out last after physical? I'm like, look at the description. It says physical gets sent out first and then digital. The reality...
They should be used to it. They're Canada.
Well, the reality is that we did digital because we can't do international. So we're kind of already doing a favor. And now we get the Canadians saying that they're second-class citizens. So we're tempted to just be like, you know what? We're just not going to send you books at all. Like, if you're just going to complain about it.
Just tell them that they want things good and on time, that they need to be annexed. That's all.
I agree, 100%.
I heard something about Canada the other day. Apparently, they had the SARS outbreak down there in Toronto, and it went completely out of hand, and it caused a lot of casualties. Yeah, I don't know, when was that? A couple of years ago with SARS. So yeah, I don't know. I guess
thought
you
you were
could say
saying we had
Canada is not a real country.
All I know is that they're the only international country that's back digital that's complained about when the digital copies are going out. I don't think I've gone.
I saw another study that read that most internet trolls actually come from the Canadian regions. I don't know. It must be something in the water or something. Yeah,
They're degens from up north.
I think so.
Doug,
I don't know.
Doug, why do we have two of you? Just wondering.
For some, I'm on this garbage laptop.
Are you in stereo? You're in stereo. I think you're in stereo. That's why, right?
Yeah, that's right. You need Doug in stereo.
Oh, you should have heard him when he started this morning.
It was awful.
It was hard to explain to my roommates.
Was he
Super
roboting?
hi-fi.
Hey, so
I think-
Doug, thank you for doing this, man. I really appreciate it.
Dude,
Packing
I
up
mean-
all those books. I wish I was there, man. We'd break out the old bourbon and pack up books just like the old punk days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I just tell you, dude, I'm thrilled. I'm completely thrilled to be packing these up.
Hey, listen, Ashcan looks good as well, man. It really
Dude,
turned out great.
you absolutely killed it. And that's like, I have I'm just going to throw. I'm not going to mention any names, but I'm going to crap on a couple of people without mentioning their names. Six did that ash can in what was it? What'd you spend on that ash can? A month?
Yeah, 3 weeks, something like 3.5 weeks.
Okay, and the art in that ash can is fantastic. He did 15 pages, absolutely killed it. Looks amazing. I had an artist on Legends of the Lone Wolf who only had 10 pages to do, and after 9 months, only sent me half of those pages because he couldn't be bothered to do them all.
Yeah, but it's not really fair, man. Listen, I'm in jail. I have nothing else to do but draw, you know. So
You're in jail?
We're all in
just
jail.
kidding, man.
Oh, that's right. We all are kind of in jail.
So anyway, yeah. Hey, about the Corona Kings. So I invited some people to join this online zine, this PDF that we're gonna sort of offer to people for free. And it's really cool that a lot of guys they actually said they were gonna chip in, and it's really amazing. I think it's so cool because this is not under anybody's banner. This is just something that we're doing for the community. You know what I mean? So I heard yesterday Preston of Pocket Jacks. He's also doing something. I think Point Man is doing something. Today, Metalhead, he said he was going to chip in a couple of pages. And then we have all the other guys that's doing it. So yeah, I just really appreciate it. This is like really, for me, this is sort of the creative community coming together, at least our little niche, so to speak. And I think that's just really cool because I think the situation, it is going to get a little worse before it gets better. You know, all the comic shops, a lot of them are going to close, unfortunately. People are going to be hit in their wallets because a lot of people won't be able to work. So for us to do this zine, and now we're also talking about maybe doing two issues because so many people are chipping in. I think that's really cool. So you guys, you're everybody that's involved with that. I really want to thank them too.
What is this project?
It's called the Corona King.
Kings.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of this yet.
Doug, you want to tell them?
Well, Six had this idea, for a bunch of people to chip in and do something free. So I'm going to host it on the Comics Underground website, and we're going to start. I made a promo. We've been sharing it around, but when I get done here, like later on the night, I'm going to work on the web page. So we're going to kind of go full blast promoting that. But it's going to be a free PDF for everybody just to download. It's going to have comics. It's going to have stories. I think John De La Rose is contributing. Yakov, Merkin has something. I'm doing a comic for it.
And it's all based on the Corona situation?
Well,
It's-
loosely, yeah.
Loosely.
Yeah, you can do like zombies, quarantine, hazmat stuff. But you can also do autoerotic octopus Japanese style. I don't care. It's going to be cool. Whatever anybody feels like doing, and whatever fits their schedule, even if it's just like a one-page drawing or something. It's cool. We'll just throw it in there, and like I said, it's something to give back to all these awesome people that back our indie comic books. And I think that's sort of what my idea was behind that.
What about if it's about Corona beer?
It's fine, of course, even better.
Hey guys, I just packed up the 100th book, so here's the book.
Woo-hoo.
All right.
Yeah, golf clap. Golf.
Congratulations. Poor Doug.
Only 100? Jeez, you're so slow.
Slacking.
Hey, I had to put all the boards in the bags first.
No excuses.
Hey Jimmy, where's your book at, Jimmy?
You
Oh,
are
he left
funny.
the chat.
Oh,
Wasn't your boy Zach doing one of those things too? He had a Corona book he's trying to capitalize on.
oh, his is just pandemic.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a little aghast at that one.
Yeah.
What is that now? Pandemic? Is that like a new comic?
Yeah,
That's your boy's new book.
But isn't he working on the whatchamacallit, the thing with Stallone? Isn't
Yeah,
that
that
it?
one's. He did something subsequently.
Okay.
Just, I guess he got a bug in his brain, and thought pandemic would be a good idea.
so if you
That's
want,
how Zach rolls.
if you want a project that was conceived and put on Indiegogo within 2 days, that's the one for you.
And then you have to wait for 3 years until you actually get it. Yeah, so you kind of
I
got
don't
a
know, I
bucket. You know?
I can't complain about your boy too much. Every book I've ordered from him, I've got. I just didn't like him very much.
I don't really know him. I know he's sort of CG adjacent. Now, I don't really mind CG, but I guess he's buddy with Ethan. So yeah, I don't know.
I found this whole comic book thing through him, so I'll always be grateful to him for that. But I don't know.
I can't really say anything negative about someone if I haven't really interacted with them, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of funny to me because the whole the Expendables thing, that's a pretty big thing, As Zach kind of says, sort of like, yeah, I'm not CG, but they try to sort of rake him in because it was such a big event, so to speak. So I don't know. I would really like to know, what is he? What does he think himself of as? I don't know.
I don't know. I think of him as EVS's friend more than anything, I guess. Yeah. And that's enough for me.
Loyalty to friends, there's something to be said for that. So, you can't really blame a guy for doing that. I guess he's not one of the ones that actively goes after people. So, basically, anybody's cool who treats other people cool, I guess,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my biggest issue with him is I just don't like his writing very much. But I mean, I've backed his campaigns, and he's got good artists working with him, and he gets his stuff out on time for me. So he's pretty cool for that, I guess.
Well, something to be said for professionalism. If the books actually go out, and if the people who back the books actually get the books and enjoy the books, that's fine. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and he's a veteran too, so I respect him for that. So I appreciate that about him too.
And at least he's not a debutant, yeah,
he's cool.
I appreciate Zach's enthusiasm. I question his taste on many things.
Yeah,
especially like television and movies.
Oh yeah, he said he watched The Predator like 20 times. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and then he has his taste in comics too that often differ from what I like. That's fine too. What I think he should do is he comes up with an idea. He's got enough cash now. Find himself a writer who knows what he's doing, and to put that together properly. And then like he did the same thing he did with art. He's not the greatest artist in the world. He's got some skill, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And then go out and get good artists that can put his vision on the paper, and then just become like a publisher / producer, I guess.
Well, he could take like a Stan Lee approach and just throw out ideas and be like, "Hey guys, here's an idea."
That's what I'm saying. Essentially, that's pretty much. He should be a Stan, as opposed to somebody with more talent.
Hey, people are dying. Let's put out a book about that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Can I read a
That's
funny
an interesting
comment
slant.
El Rodimus Flash. He says Zach is full on CG. His lawyers tell him not to say too much.
I don't have a lawyer. Should I get one?
You should
No.
you should look up Bob Loblaw's Loblog.
Well, unless you want to like go after like somebody with a lot of money, you know. If you have an IP that is worth a lot and people are stealing it, yes.
So no for me. I don't want to spend money. If somebody steals my stuff, I'll just shoot them.
I'm really well versed.
Okay, Mr. Wellman.
If somebody stands on my lawn, I'm going to shoot him.
That's right. Get out of my yard, you weirdos.
I need to find out how Matt is doing. He and I haven't met each other in the last 3 weeks because of everything going on right now. The normal hangout we go to kind of shut down.
Man in indie comics right there.
Yeah, dude, that guy is crazy. He's the human printer. You order something and he just prints it out for you by hand.
I got
in a matter of minutes.
All Might versus Saitama original right there.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
He's the best. I love him. He's Matt Senpai. He teaches me a lot.
Tim, you are in New Jersey, right, or not?
No. I'm in Texas.
Okay. Shit. Okay.
He's like in the anti-New Jersey.
Every time you say New Jersey, not just U6, but anytime someone says New Jersey, I always think of that chalet, that dark hole, that abyss.
No, I must have been confused, man, because I'm often confused, but I guess this is the proof. So how's the corona situation down in Texas?
It's good, actually. So I think we're doing the same thing as everyone else in the country. Most of the restaurants have not necessarily shut down, but they're basically just doing curbside order. I went to a barbecue place about 4 days ago, and it was busy. Like all the cars were lined up to pick up curbside and to order, and the barbecue was still good. So it seems like they just took their employee. They did kind of a smart thing. They reconfigured their staff rather than have them being the wait staff. They basically had them be like Sonic hops, where it's like they go out to the curb, take your order, go back in. They upgraded their iPads so that their iPads could basically tap into their internal network to take credit card orders from the outside. So they were doing really well. If you went out at 2 o'clock like today in the afternoon, you honestly wouldn't even know that things had changed. The only thing that is a little bit different is obviously like non-perishable items and cans. It's kind of hard to find in stores. Toilet paper has been restocked, but I was telling some of my friends that over the last few weeks, I'll tell you the hardest thing to find is ammo. It's Texas. So like when you say pandemic, that's like the first thing to go. When I went to Walmart and the Academy, the only ammo left was shotgun ammo and ammo for 22s. That's it. 380s, ball ammunition.
Endorse that, you know. And what about? Do you guys have these drive-through test sites like they have elsewhere in the country?
To like drive-through testing for coronavirus?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'm interested to see how a situation is going to develop in the U.S. If you look at, obviously, China has been cooking the books regarding casualties and regarding actual infected. Now we see in Italy and in Spain that there's a lot higher casualty rate than we were told by the WHO.
Yeah, the WHO and the WHO and the CDC. I don't trust them too much. Like I take them with a grain of salt. I don't trust bureaucracies. Period.
Exactly. Well, I think they're trying to take into account the panic factor and maybe also a certain economic factor. But I wish they would just tell it as it is, and then people can take their own precautions. You know what I mean? Because now a lot of people still think it's just the flu.
Yeah.
I was doing shopping, you know, a couple of days ago. I was wearing my mask, my stuff, you know, because it's just precautions. You know what I mean? There's this guy behind me, like literally coughing into my neck. You know what I mean? It almost turned into a fist fight. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You know, you might as well cough into my face. You know, we were on sort of an escalator.
Yeah,
it's just amazing, man. It's really amazing. So yeah, I'm a little bit antisocial usually, but now I'm like especially antisocial. You know what I mean?
And
so,
not just that. but I agree with you completely. I think you and I are seeing the situation the same way. So President Trump wanted to basically, it's not like a federal mandate, but it's basically the federal guideline, which is basically everything is shut down until April 1st. Now we've passed that deadline, but he extended it due to the CDC recommendation to the end of the month. And I don't know if you saw that press conference yesterday. That's the only press conference where I thought, wow, there were so many people who put their foot in their mouths. I mean, one of the big ones was, I think it turned out that the CDC was using like a worst case scenario model, but they were using New York as their model and applying it to the rest of the country. And that's what led to them extending it all the way to April 30th. My prediction is within 2 weeks, small businesses are going to ignore quarantine because they cannot survive. A $1,200 check, that's not even a check, it's a loan from the government. They're going to be like, if I do not open shop, I am going to go out of business. I am going to open shop. And if you want to come to my restaurant, come. And the people who are healthy will say, I am sick of being cooped inside. I want my burger and fries or whatever. They're going to start trickling out. And over time, people know, they know enough about the nature of it that they're going to take their own precautions. Like, you have to put some faith in freedom, that people will make decisions, and sometimes they won't make the right ones. But I think that people, as of this point, they know enough that they're going to just ignore a lot of that. And I think we're going to start ramping things up much sooner than was anticipated.
Well, I tell you, the peak of infections and of let's say casualties, it won't reach its peak until halfway through May, most likely by certain studies. And apparently, this is a lot heavier disease than most people realize. In fact, also young people get ill. We see a lot of children dying now, especially in the UK. We see healthy people sort of recovering with 30% loss of their lung functionings. So this is no joke. Then, on the other hand, you have this thing called herd immunity. And as sooner as the economy starts up again, people go outside, then you will reach herd immunity. But at what cost? You know what I mean? At what cost? At what casualty cost? Because still a lot of people are going to die. Don't want to be a fearmonger, but this is a virus that we have no antibodies to yet. Then there's the case of reinfections. In China, we've seen that about 15% of people infected that recover, they actually get sick again. And then on the second time around, the virus is in fact deadlier. So yeah, we're still about 13 months away from any form of vaccine. Is it going to be a vaccine like the flu, where you can still get the flu? And if you take into consideration that the flu has sort of a death rate of 1% or something, this already has between 3 and 7% death rate. So if it's going to be an annual thing, then yeah, the economy is going to be hurt for a lot longer than most people realize.
Right.
So let's say beyond the whole April timeframe, I'd say this thing won't be manageable until something like October.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to come up with a model. I think Scott Adams put it best. He said, these people have worst case scenario models for the virus. They did not have a worst case scenario model for the economy. So I think that the two are not mutually exclusive. I think there's a way that you can selectively quarantine certain people and have the general population take precautions while still putting to work people who are in the workforce.
I don't want to be Captain 2020 hindsight, but what they should have done is lock everything down for a period of 2 weeks, then start opening certain regions selectively, and then you can apply targeted quarantines. You know what I mean? Like, then you can apply targeted testing. Because now hey, look at those stickers, man. The label stickers look great. But you know what I mean? So that's kind of another. People say, yeah, lockdown, but lockdown is not forever. You lock down and then you start opening up selectively. You start testing targeted. And that's one way to sort of handle this situation. But it's all like sort of panic. Everybody's in panic mode now, you know? So I don't know. Those stickers look good, Doug. And the pins look good as well.
Yeah, the pins come out great too.
They're so cute.
That's
Well,
all. like Six did the design for this as well. 'Cause
Oh,
he's awesome.
nice. Mac and McCheese, what is that?
The McCheese.
That's a cheeseburger with eyes, I'm afraid.
Did you get those McDonald's Happy Meal Transformers?
Oh yeah, I had a spider
haven't
bot or
seen
something. It was excellent.
No, it was the ones where it's like the literal burger turned into a robot.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
I had one. It was supposed to be a package of. It was like it's supposed to be a styrofoam box of like pancakes or something.
Yeah, those were awesome. I love those toys so
See,
much.
like now nobody would even recognize that. I remember when you got a Quarter Pounder or a Big Mac and it came in the styrofoam.
Hey, Doug, I just read something on Twitter. Matt C is asking where you went for the stickers, where you printed.
Texas. No, I went. I used Sticker Mule.
Sticker Mule, that's right. Yeah, that's right. They look good.
That's
What
where
is
I got the pins too.
is Grimace a chicken nugget?
Grimace, I think, is supposed to be the slurry that comes out of like the ice cream machine.
Oh.
That's gross.
P.S. Melter says the chicken nuggets turned into a pterodactyl.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, really?
Hey Matt, see if you're going to use Sticker Mule, let me send you a link so it gives me bonus points. And we can be friends. I only have friends based on monetary values. No, but you know what, guys? We've got like 19 people watching this show.
That's crazy talk. Corona King, why are you making me all worried to like live my life? Why can't I just go out and be like do whatever I want? It's YOLO, motherfucker.
If I'm telling you to go into lockdown, you're going to go into lockdown, man. And otherwise, I'm going to come to your house and cough on your comic collection.
Okay, as long as you don't shoot my face off.
Honestly, I haven't noticed like a change in my lifestyle at all. So I don't know.
Well, here in this
Well,
really small town, it's not changed for me because I never go anywhere or do anything anyway.
Yep.
I'm a homebody now because I got responsibilities to take care of. But I mean, I used to be a world traveler, and so if I ever go back to that lifestyle, then I think things might be a real big change.
I'm a real people person. I go outside often and just randomly hug strangers. And I just can't do that anymore, you know?
Free hugs.
I used to do that all the time. I just come up behind a girl and give her a random hug because I knew she needed it. Now everybody gets all upset. I don't know what the deal
Yeah, they
is.
get upset. I don't know, you know? I'm even, I'm not allowed to go outside without pants. I don't know. It's just crazy, you know?
Yeah.
They said all I needed to go to the store was a mask and gloves. They didn't say anything about pants or t-shirt.
Or underwear.
Well, that goes without saying.
Anyway, guys, I have to get dinner started for the kids. So, yeah, thanks for letting me hop on for a bit, Doug, thank you for doing all this stuff for Napalm. It's really appreciated. And
No problem, dude.
yeah, like I said, I wish I was there helping you pack all that stuff, man. But anyway, people are going to be really happy with the books. I think they really turned out great. One more question: when you compare it to the proof I did, are they kind of similar? You think? Because
they turned out. You know how we were talking about the colors in the proof?
Yeah.
I opened up the same pages in it. They turned out almost exactly the same.
Oh, that's great, man. That's really great.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay, cool, buddy. Well, hey, thanks for talking, guys. It was really a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll just catch the rest of the stream on the rebound, you know? So I'm going to drop by, guys.
Stay safe. Have a good one.
See you later, Six.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Sam in the chat says, "What's underwear?"
They don't have underwear in Finland.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's a loincloth, man. You know what those are, right?
Yeah, it's what Conan wears in the comic book.
It's like pants, but like a miniature version.
Yeah. Now I'm to the part I hate.
Yeah,
Guys.
that's what they call, the miniature version of pants is panties. So
Yeah, that's where the word comes from.
I need to start getting out the mailers, the Gemini mailers, and folding them up. That's the part I hate the worst. I'm going to send all the single issues first. Then I'm going to do the 5-packs, and then I'm going to do everybody who got all the extra stuff last.
Oh, I just got confirmation from the I Kind of Believe research unit. And we're going to talk about subliminal messaging in Disney films tonight and reptilian shapeshifters in the news.
Oh.
Yeah, so please come on by. Doug, I hope to see you on tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it.
Yeah.
It depends on if I'm an old person and fall asleep at 8 o'clock or not.
that's what happened to me last night. It's terrible. I woke up at like 4 in the morning going, what happened?
I don't know. I've got that Resident Evil that just came out last night. I didn't go to bed till 5 this morning. It was so good. Oh man, it was a little surreal playing a video game about a viral outbreak with all this going on, but kind of made it better, I think.
You mean Resident Evil Nemesis?
Yeah.
Like 3?
Yep. I beat it in 6.5 hours. Could not put it down.
I didn't even know that was out yet. It just seemed like yesterday that Resident Evil 2, the remake, came out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's good,
Jeez.
man. I pre-ordered it last night and started playing about 9 o'clock, and all of a sudden it was 5 a.m.
I feel so bad. Like, I haven't had a new console since the PS3 came out.
Oof.
And Resident Evil 2 was basically my gateway drug into modern console gaming.
Oh,
because I got Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1, and I played that thing so much that I could beat that game in under like 2.5 hours. I got like every single thing you could get in it. Like, I unlocked Tofu and Hunk. It was crazy. And when I found out they were doing a Resident Evil 2 remake, I was like, holy cow, I should get a console. And here we are, and I still haven't even done it. Now Resident Evil 3 is out.
Oh, yeah. Well, now you got two to go through.
I know. But it's waiting for me at some point. I'm waiting for the PS5 because I don't know if it's a rumor that's been confirmed or not, but I heard it's backwards compatible.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Because that would be dope. There's almost no reason for me to get a PS4 at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Skip a generation.
Yeah.
All those PS4 games will be really cheap when you want to play them, too.
As long as it can play Fortnite, you'll be good.
Common America skin in Fortnite.
So there you go.
I don't even know how you do that. If that's something you can do in that game.
You'd have to be like sponsored.
Oh, okay.
I've got Batman on my Fortnite.
I think they launched Deadpool today, actually. Speaking of Liefeld.
Yeah, I've been doing the Deadpool quest. I only get on to play like once a month, and they had Deadpool stuff. Like, hey, I'm gonna play this. Well, that's what I did yesterday.
Oh, I tried playing Fortnite. It wasn't my thing. I was trying to shoot somebody, and all of a sudden they built a 3-story condo in front of me. I was like, I'm out of here.
I was playing it with my nephews, and then they started playing with all their friends, so I don't have anybody to play it with anymore.
Oh, I'll hop on there with you, Doug.
You're all like, Uncle Doug's old. Let's play with our friends. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this stream, and I'm going to go take a break from messing with this.
Why, Doug? Why? Who am I going to listen to? I'm talking about gaming shit that I don't really care about.
Well,
now I know what people feel like when I start talking about Warhammer. They're like, what the fuck is he talking about?
That's how people feel anytime you talk, Jimmy.
Shut up!
Matt C says Fortnite gaming stream with the Corona Kings win. If you play Fortnite, we'll do some Fortnite streams. I'm not even kidding.
Oh yeah, I'll get on that.
Yeah, we'll be terrible playing against a bunch of kids.
Well, I'm gonna drop to you. I gotta go back to work. I've been, playing with you guys too long now. I have to actually make some money and be essential. I'm so essential.
Well,
Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Good, good
Jimmy.
job, Doug, in getting that stuff out. Good, Tim. You're awesome as usual.
Thanks.
McCheese, I don't know you, but you seem like a good guy.
Oh, thanks.
Except you don't like Frazetta, you bastard.
No, I like Frazetta. I like Frazetta. I like
All right,
the
fellas.
cheesecake show too, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have a good one. Bye bye.
All right,
Bye,
later.
But thanks for stopping by, fellas. It's good to have some company when you're doing just this non entertaining, busy nonsense work.
You know, let me be honest, Doug. I was hoping that at some point a fly would enter your screen so you would actually use that thing in the background. Have you ever heard of Hitchcock's bomb theory? No. Okay. So Hitchcock said that in a movie, if you're gonna have a bomb in, I think it was a bomb. Yeah, he said that if you're gonna have a bomb show up in the beginning of the movie, you'd better use that bomb by the end of the movie. So the whole time I was like, that fly swatter is back there for a reason.
Matt Reese, I just noticed he was sitting there in the thing. I never did add him. I feel bad now.
Can we just sing happy birthday to him before we leave?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you there, Reese? Or
Yeah, I'm here. Can you not hear me?
yeah, I'm sorry I left you sitting in the outer space or wherever you were.
Fly Fox Pro got it right. It was the gun. It was Chekhov's gun. I got that completely wrong. Hitchcock's bomb theory was on suspense. If you have a bomb under the table, you make sure that no one notices it while it's going off, or when it's while it's ticking down. That to generate suspense. So I got that and Chekhov's gun confused. My bad. We're gonna call it Doug's fly swatter.
Yep.
There you go. I'm gonna just put it in every stream I do and never use it from now on.
There you go.
Space flies.
Yeah. So sorry, Reese. I was gonna wrap up the stream and now you popped in.
That's no problem, man. No problem. You can do what you want, man. It's your show.
Well, Tim did say we was gonna sing happy birthday to you, so are you guys ready to sing happy birthday?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Matt Reese. Happy birthday to you. Worst singing ever.
Was that like a reverse chorus?
That was pretty awful.
It was all out of key. And
Well, I
everything.
appreciate it.
Well, like I said, thanks for dropping by, guys, and I'll try to make it to the I Kind of Believe stream.
Yeah. Come on by. Tim, hope you can come on by too. Man.
If I do, I'll just be listening in. I like listening to you guys talk about it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun tonight.
And
you're gonna Wang Chung tonight?
Maybe.
Go subscribe to Matt Reese's channel, even though they're not having a show. Well, that was last night they didn't have a show. I forgot which day it was. But he always has a good show. Go subscribe to the Bunderdome. Go subscribe to the Needle
Yeah,
Movers.
it's Friday today.
Go follow all these guys on Twitter. But we'll talk at you later. So bye.
That next week's show is actually a special show.